in the room, my heart skips a beat. And who said that you could sweep me away? I stumble over all I long to say to you. You make me so nervous, yes it's true. Yeah, you make me so nervous, yes it's true. Yeah, you make me so nervous.
Yesterday should have been the introduction to this video. As you can tell in the back, we have a little bit of a setup for camping, but we get to the spot, swimming in the shallows, and I get a box jellyfish wrapped around my snorkel. I grab my snorkel, I rip it out of my mouth, and the box jellyfish stings me on the inside of my mouth. We'll put some clips in there right now of the aftermath.
What did you just do?
I'm gonna time it tomorrow.
What did you just do?
I ate a box jellyfish. Don't make me smile, please.
So we quickly went to the hospital, checked me out, everything's fine. Then we still had this, we were like, okay, we just drove 2.5 hours, let's go camp. Wind's starting to pick up, so I have the most brilliant idea ever to set up the tent and then park the truck in front of the tent in order to block the wind. And I parked the truck on the beach. Dug ourselves a massive hole and we got the truck stuck super bad. So we spent an hour and a half trying to unstuck the truck, but we got it done. Got it unstuck.
Oh my gosh!
But on the positive note, my lip has gone way down. It's not even swollen anymore. And we're going back to our spot and we're gonna try again.
Having a solid dive plan grounded in safety before you enter the water has kept Luca and I safe diving some of the most challenging areas in the world. That plan becomes increasingly more important when you are diving without a vessel, like we are today. At this spot, the current and swell determines how our day will go. We know that today we will dive the ebb, which is when the tide is falling. If we time this correctly, the current should push us onto one of our favorite ledges on the island. However, it's not as easy as it sounds. This means we will only get 1 or 2 drops each before we have to swim all the way back to shore and walk back to reset the drift.
After around a 3/4 of a mile swim offshore, we finally made it to the edge of the reef. Here's a great visual of my duck dive from Grace's point of view. Pay attention to the lack of splashing on the surface during the water entry. This is a great sign of an efficient duck dive. This is one of the most demanding movements of the entire dive, accounting for a significant portion of total oxygen consumption. You can instantly improve your dive time by improving your water entry. After around a 40-second descent, I hit the bottom and find a very nice hiding spot. This is where Grace and I kind of live, no matter where we go in the world. We both love hunting this portion of the water column. We're relaxed, nice and chill, and get to kind of ambush our prey instead of chasing it down. I could see move from the surface, so I was already prepared to push the dive time into that 220 range. However, almost immediately, the solid moo came right into me and cut my dive short. At first, I thought this was a relatively smaller fish, until the shaft hit and I realized how far it was away from me, nearly at the end of my double wrap. I was stoked on this dozer moo on the first drop of the day.
Nice one! That's so good! Good job!
Luca had just come up with a moo, and I wanted to get one for myself. We had drifted quite a bit already, and I knew I only had 1 or 2 drops left in the drift. I looked down and could already see that we were on our favorite ledge, and the reason we came to this spot. I started my descent, and on the way down, out of the corner of my eye, I could see 2 very large giant trevally, or a lua as they call them here in Hawaii. So I decided to send it straight to the bottom at around 95 feet to try and call them in from there. I found a nice vantage point from behind this rock, and just at the edge of my visibility, I could see a huge school of aluas. Maybe 4 or 5 solid 50-pounders mixed in with a huge school of mu. One of our main tactics here in Hawaii is called a grouper call. It sounds like a deep grunt that imitates a feeding fish. Majority of the fish we hunt are opportunistic hunters, and typically these grunts are extremely effective. So I threw out some of those calls to try to get these apex predators to come in. However, it didn't work this time. So I started the long ascent back up to Luca, where I was greeted by one of my favorite ocean creatures. Bottlenose dolphins. It's always a special day when you get to see these guys, so I knew it was going to be an epic dive.
Experiences like these are what draws Grace and I to pursue this lifestyle every day. Spearfishing lets us step into a completely different world, experiencing and interacting with nature in ways we could never even imagine. I could see our exit point quickly approaching, so I did one last drop on this drift. I hit the bottom, and almost immediately this Moana collie snuck up behind me. I could tell he was a little bit on the smaller side, but I'll be honest, I gave him a good thought, considering this would be the last drop. However, I had uku on the brain. I'd do these big, long head turns, keeping an eye out for a curious uku to come check me out. They're notorious on this side of the island for appearing out of nowhere. Sure enough, one magically spawns at the end of my breath hold. However, this fish has a PhD in identifying threats, so he stays well out of range. At the end of my dive, I try a desperate lunge, but no luck, and I start kicking it up back to Gracie.
Good job, Gracie. Look at the camera. Say hi. Yoo-hoo! What a drift. All right, so we just hopped out of the water on one of our fishiest dives I've ever seen. This zone has now produced 3 days in a row. So what we're gonna do now is basically we just drifted down the coast about a mile. We've hopped out here on the rocks, and we're just gonna walk back to our drop-in spot, drop in, and then hopefully do this thing again. But unbelievable drift. Picked up
Dolphins, whales singing the whole time.
picked up a half decent moo. Dolphins, whales. What else?
Huge GTs.
Big ukus. It was unbelievable. Okay, we'll start this walk and see you back in the water.
After a solid 30-minute hike back to our entrance, we were so hot in our wetsuit that getting in the water again was such a relief. The current had really picked up, so unfortunately, again, we knew we'd only have a couple drops on this drift. Almost immediately after hitting the bottom, I had 2 beautiful eating Moana collie come to check me out, so I lined up on the biggest one. If you check out our last video, we made a Moana collie catch and cook where we steamed this species whole. It came out so beautifully and is now one of our favorite fish to eat. So we vowed the next one we saw was coming home for dinner.
It's kind of small.
Okay, that's perfect.
Grace came up with that beauty Moana collie, but I could already see us approaching our exit. So again, I had to make a quick drop. I overestimated the current at depth, resulting in mistiming of my dive. I landed on the top of the drop-off instead of that sandy patch to the right of me. However, I knew I was close enough that a predator species could easily be patrolling along this channel. I scratched the reef a few times and threw out some calls. This was a deeper drop, closer to that 100-foot or 30-meter mark, and without a proper breathe-up, I knew I didn't have much time down here as I would like. Thankfully, I turned my head and locked in on this Moana collie, and tried my best to copy Grace. Two beautiful eating fish on the kui.
Fish or no?
No, not really. I think so. That was it though, that was the ledge.
We started kicking them in when I remembered my buddy wanted a parrotfish, or uhu. These guys are fun to hunt, and here you can see me using the dive bomb technique. I got a nice holding shot on this fish, but she bolted straight to the bottom and got herself all tangled. I was only in that 60-foot range or so had no problem continuing the dive and proceeded to try and untangle the mess this fish just made. Whenever you're dealing with something that is attached to the bottom, it's always the time to take extra precaution, as this is one of the most dangerous circumstances a spearfisher man or woman can encounter. As the fish is moving around, it's super easy to get tangled in that line. However, this guy made it easy for me, and we landed a beautiful eating uhu for our friends. Okay, we just got out of the water on the second drift of the day. Definitely not as productive as the first one. But we're not going home empty-handed. Little bearfish, monocollies. We love those guys now. On the Orca 120 with the alchemy fins. Ew. The angle of the current changed, so we didn't hit the ledge exactly where we wanted to, but still, regardless, an epic time. Whales, dolphins, turtles, big fish, lots of fish. Awesome dive, but now we have a little bit of a walk back. So we'll catch you guys trying to cook these guys up. I think we're gonna try to camp. We'll figure it out. See how the wind is, but awesome dive. That was fun. Alright, we just got back to the car. We dropped off the moo and the parrotfish and a couple monocollies, and we're looking at the water now, and the tide has changed. So what this allows us to do is now head in a different direction and be pulled back towards the car. So even though we said it's going to be the last drift, I think we have to go one more time and hit such a special zone. Really quick, a few drops, hit a special zone that Grace and I love so much. We'll see you guys back in the water. The second we jumped in, Grace pointed out this little taco under the rock, and we thought it would be cool to show you how to catch one. I like to tickle it with my gun and let it grab onto my gun. However, this time it didn't really work out that way, and he kind of lunged out of the hole and grabbed onto my arm. Then, on our swim out, we had one of the most epic creatures of the blue come to say hi. It just happened! Oh, I thought it was gonna go up! Came right up to us. I was like, I looked to the right and I was like, holy crap, what is that?
I don't know what I was expecting to see, but I
So that was a pretty crazy start to the drift. And when we got out here, we had underestimated how tired we were. So we just did one drop each. At this point, Grace's camera had already died, so it's just me. On my drop, you can still hear the beautiful sounds of the whales singing. I got to the bottom and almost immediately had the school of veke nonos come in. These fish are pretty rare to see in depths accessible to breath-hold spearfishermen, so I immediately went into hunting mode. One of the best sashimi fish on the reef. I was so stoked. Yeah! Vicky, no. Whoa! That's cool! Oh my gosh!
Alright guys, we just got out of the water on our last drift.
and might
Unbelievable.
possibly the best trip ever.
Look at what we landed. This is called a Veke no.
Beautiful.
One of the rare sashimi fish in Hawaii.
And
Yeah,
the most important part of the dive,
don't let me forget that.
we had a huge humpback whale come right up to us and like not even that, like while we were swimming out.
Unbelievable.
insane.
I looked to my right.
Showed us.
I looked to the right and I screamed, Grace! Grace! And she didn't even turn around. So then I tapped her and I was like, Grace, look at this thing! And a giant whale right there.
And showed us its belly.
Showed us its
and was
belly.
off.
Oh my gosh, what a day. Okay, we're gonna get these guys on ice. We're camping tonight. So we have Grace's family coming in from California tomorrow. We're gonna have a big dinner with them. I think we're gonna do the moo poke with them. And then I think we're gonna leave this guy on ice for a few days and kind of show you how to take care of a epic sashimi fish. And maybe we'll flash forward to maybe 4 or 5 days from now and make some sushi. But we're so fired up. Sushi nigiri with the Veke no. That's my first one. Unbelievable. Okay, we'll see you guys back at the palace, aka the battle wagon. My first Veke no. Thing's a tank. Can't wait to make some sushi out of them on the Orca 120. We have fish today. Good thing we brought some ice.
We got out of the water much later than anticipated, around 5 p.m. So I suggested to Grace that we should stay and have a sunset picnic date.
Okay, we just finished our dive. Now we're watching the sunset. This cute little beach we saw. After our drift, we walked back and spotted it out. Thought it didn't exist.
Beautiful view. An end to an awesome day. We gotta go set up camp. We have like 30 minutes left of sunlight. Probably gonna be setting up camp in the dark. But it's okay because we're gonna be eating good tonight. Ew. Crazy. Year and a half ago, we made a contact with this man. Jason, will you marry me?
I don't own a single gun, but if I did, you'd be the one to hold it, aim it, make all of the bad men run. But I don't own a single gun.
We're too tired to feel emotion.
And I don't have a sweetheart yet, but if I did, I'd break my neck.
Are you kidding me?
Please make her wanna stay in my arms, she'd rest. But I don't have a sweetheart yet. I can't believe what I found in Daddy's sock drawer. It was a pistol, a Smith
Look at the sun.
& Wesson. Oh, yes. La 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 la.
It's the cutest thing ever.
Dog. Photographer coming out here, Mike.
We just got engaged.
She said yes.
I said yes, of course.
work. Plan. Bye. Just got engaged and we're on the four-wheel drive road trying to find ourselves a camping spot in the pitch black.
This is how we do it.
But we're running on the adrenaline high of a big old all capital yes.
Yes, a million tons and a million back over.
Hey Gracie, I'm gonna need the maps.
Okay.
That light is good, man. Pretty warm too.
Setting up.
Camping spot number 1 was a fail because
Lots of reasons.
a couple of reasons, but the main one being a big old gate was in the way. But now we've decided to camp right by the dive spot.
Yeah. And by what other spot?
And at a pretty special spot on Gracie and I that I blacked out on.
I don't even remember.
Good morning, everybody. It was a pretty rough night, but we had so much fun. We started off with beautiful clear skies, saw so many stars, but then at like 2 a.m. it just started torrential downpour. Rainfall number 2. We've had some leaks.
It's really coming down.
It's only 2 a.m. Four more hours.
Look at that thing.
We got the tarp up though and we saved us, but our truck is stuck again in the mud. We gotta wait till that dries up. We're gonna get this tent down, but we're so happy. We're gonna go make some pancakes. We were gonna dive, but the swell is looking a little big. And we got a good day yesterday, so we're gonna end it on a high, I think. And show them a little piece of jewelry or something.
Oh,
Love you.
I love you. Walking to breakfast. So we just got to our breakfast spot. Watching whales. We got the griddle and we got the orangutan.
Just like you never take a brand new spear gun into your favorite spearfishing spot for the first time and try to test it out. It's the same with the griddle. You gotta test the griddle out before you go camping, and we did not do that, even though we both said we should test the griddle out.
Do you have experience taking your brand new spear gun into an amazing spot?
I do have a little bit of experience. See a bunch of doggies right below us and the gun breaks.
Anyways, we're enjoying our
Learning.
morning. We're learning lots in the whales. But we're really hungry.
Starving.
The car's stuck, so
The car's pretty stuck.
we're just here for a while. We made a fire.
Oh, Grace's ring looks pretty.
It's sparkly. Guys, this is unreal. We did so good. They don't deserve it.
She deserves it.
Good. Nice.
We packed up the truck and headed back to town. We had an unreal couple of days, and we were excited to meet the family.
Wait, you're not in it.
Scoot a little bit back.
All right, guys, it's now been a few days. We're gonna start preparing our fish. Our family is in town, so we're gonna make a little appetizer, a little fish taco, a little sashimi, poke. Luca will take you through it.
Okay, so this is now day 5, as Grace has mentioned, of our moo. All I've done is refer to my Instagram. I have a full breakdown on how to take care of this fish perfectly. All I've done is for the first 48 hours, I keep it on a salty water brine in the cooler, keep it whole. I don't want to cut any more cells of that fillet than I need to. After 48 hours, I'm gonna take it out of the cooler, I'm gonna fillet it super nice, and I'm gonna get these paper towel and Ziplocs. I'm gonna pat down that fillet make it super dry. All that myoglobin that it's excreting, all the juice that it's excreting, we want to get rid of all of that. That's what turns your fish rotten. Throw it in the fridge. Don't freeze anything. So right now we're gonna make some poke with this beautiful moo. So now what Grace is doing is she's just cutting up that moo into long strips. We're gonna be turning this into poke nachos. Okay, so we diced up the moo. We're gonna fill this up. We're gonna do roughly 8 ounces of fish. That's 4 tablespoons of shoyu.
All right, now we have some onions. We're gonna chop those up.
Fish is going in.
Beautiful. There's 4 tablespoons of sauce. Both of our parents and my siblings are in town, so we wanted to save this fish for when they got here. They don't often get to have our fresh fish because we don't live in the same place as them, so we're so happy to be able to share what we do with them. It's such a special way for us to kind of show our appreciation, and because they have no idea really what we do. I mean, they kind of do, but it's always special when we get to share our fish with our loved ones. The green onions chopped up. I'm also gonna cut up an avocado. Hopefully this one is all right.
No good?
Oh yeah. Perfection.
It doesn't have to be fancy. A couple ingredients. That's what we do.
All right, so we just finished the poke nachos. We kept the fish cold in the fridge, put it right on, then we put on some sriracha mayo and some unagi sauce, along with avocado and some extra green onions on the top.
Let's walk them out.
All right, the whole fam's here for a special reason. Okay. Poke nachos.
Poke nachos.
Okay, nachos.
That looks fabulous.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Legends, for staying until the end of the video. This was such a special trip for Luca and I, and we hope that we were able to evoke some of those same feelings that we had making this episode. Make sure to subscribe. This is just the beginning of our journey.